Hey, everyone. Welcome to Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard, an audio podcast. We have a great guest on today. He's a founder, CEO, and executive creative director of Frost Collective, a globally recognized and awarded creative who is passionately committed to designing a better world. Please join me in welcoming Vince Frost. Welcome.
Hey Thomas, thank you. Nice to be here.
Are you ready for 20 questions?
I am.
Great. Question one. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do?
Oh God. It's a big question. What, one second. What do I do? Wow, I'm multiple things. I'm a human being. I'm a dad of three kids, three dogs. I've got a creative business called Frost Collective here in Sydney and in London. And I'm absolutely passionate about design and designing brands, products, places, environments, and also helping people design their lives for the better.
Great. Just a note for the audience, if you guys are interested in other big 2025 episodes, please check out the episode with Kareem Rashid. Question two, what's a key piece of knowledge that makes you different?
I don't think there's a key piece of knowledge for me. I think that as I've saw that a few of your guests are kind of in their late 50s, etc., and there's something similar there. For a very long time in my life and in my career, I've kind of felt like I didn't know enough, or I didn't know more fully what's going on in the world, and always felt kind of, I guess, in a way, slightly intimidated by the creative industry. And now, in turning 60, 61 this year, I really feel like, that 30 years has passed at the time pretty slowly. Looking back, it's actually incredibly quick, and realize now that I learned a hell of a lot in that period of time, and I have a far more, I guess, more kind of, I guess, more feeling of um, more content about the creative industry and what I'm doing through, I guess, over those years of experience.
Nice, I love that. Okay, so number three, why this of all things? Why do you do what you do?
I do what I do. Depends what it is you're referring to. If it's kind of running a design company or branding, what is it? Is it you talking about more generally about the creative pursuit that I do?
Yeah, you can interpret it as you wish.
Okay. I just love. I mean, I ended up just kind of getting into design through default. Back when I was in the UK, came back from Canada, didn't do so well at high school, and kind of ended up getting into an art school, and tried a whole bunch of different kind of product design, animation, fashion, textiles, etc. And I really loved all of them, but really felt a natural affinity with visual communication and graphic design at the time.
Mm.
So I guess that's really where my career path started. And once I found that, I was just absolutely addicted to it.
Mm. Great. Some people struggle with number four, and the question is, what does your future look like?
What does my future look like?
Hmm.
I have no idea. And I kind of like that. I think that I'm hoping to have a live as long as possible. Oh God, I can't even speak. Hopefully live as healthy as possible, through kind of a whole bunch of things that I'm doing to for my health. But yeah, I'm just happy to be doing what I'm doing and continue to do so.
Great. Five we say is unique to this show. The question is, let's talk about location. How does the notion of place play into what you do?
Place plays a massive part into what I do and in my life. I've lived in about 50 houses so far in my lifetime, which is a lot. And that's just through, I guess, my parents moving a lot as a kid from England to Canada, around Vancouver, White Rock, etc., which I know you probably know,
Hmm.
being there. And back to England, I lived in Japan. I now live in Australia for the last 20 years. So place and home for me is really, really important. And finding that place that really makes me feel at one and feel good and feel happy is really, really important. And we have a place business. So we have a team that's dedicated to designing and branding and marketing places. So place is super important for me.
Great. So you're starting from the beginning. What advice do you give your former younger self?
Yeah, I guess what one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot, because that question comes up a lot when I'm being interviewed, and that's kind of probably be less fearful of the unknown. Actually, also just realizing that life is about learning and that it's not, don't always kind of think worst case scenarios. I had a habit of kind of thinking, I was always optimistic, very optimistic, and I am so today. But I always thought about the worst case scenario that might happen, and sometimes that worst case scenario really inhibited me from doing things. So I would kind of want to reassure my younger self that just go for it. Just be, just do what you're doing and have less concern about it not working.
Great. And what's a day in your life like?
A day in my life is starts at probably like 4:30 in the morning when I wake up, often to dogs snoring and the light beginning to come out the sunrise. I either go for a walk or I go have a coffee with my partner, and I go to the gym. I go to the gym every morning for an hour and 15 minutes roughly, and then just start to kind of warm up with work, start look at emails, maybe have some quiet time to kind of work on a book or a brand or whatever. Before I kind of start communicating with my team in either London or Sydney.
Great. And you touched on eight. It's around lifelong learning. It's a popular topic. How do you stay up to date?
Up to date with lifelong learning?
Hmm.
Uh, well, I just really, a lot of it's just through kind of meeting people, meeting clients, meeting friends, being out and about, probably a lot through, social media. I try to kind of avoid the news because it's so gloomy and depressing. But yeah, more and often just kind of getting on with projects and connecting with people. I really enjoy that.
Great. And nine is about tools. Do you use both digital and analog tools?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
very much, I very much, I love doing things with my hands. I love making things, sketching. But you can't be in business these days and not be utilizing the tools.
Hmm.
And certainly the team does as well. There's about 50 people in my business, and there's a whole array of talent within that.
Great. So halfway number 10, how do you deal with work life or life work balance?
Yeah, that question always comes up a lot, and I really don't believe there is. For me, it's been best when I don't try to create a balance. I don't try to create a distinction between the two. For me, my life is my life, whether I'm working or whether I'm, my personal life, etc. It is one. And so, when I stopped trying to differentiate the two or separate the two, things became a lot better for me. So I'm dedicated to my life, to doing good in the world, to my family, to my business, to my clients, etc., and all that's around me. So I just, sometimes I'm working at 3 in the morning. Sometimes it's not really kind of contained, if you like, if you know what I mean.
Hmm. Great. And 11, if you weren't doing what you do now, what might you be doing?
Well, uh, I love physical activity. So I don't know if I'd be a sports person. I love music. I don't know whether I'd be a musician. I have kind of dabbled in that in the past. But it would certainly be something that I felt that I loved. I'm lucky what I do. Maybe it's not luck. What I do, I absolutely love. And so for me, I never consider it work. So that people often say if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And for me, even though I run, a big company, big team working on some large scale projects, for me it's not work. It's actually an absolute privilege to help people achieve their success.
Great. And what would you not like to do with your career?
What I know what to do? It's a good question. What would I not like to do? I'm just trying to think. I think that what I just wouldn't want to be doing it for the money. I wouldn't want to be doing it without that integrity, which I mentioned before. For
Mhm.
me, first thing is actually about helping our clients achieve their success,
Mhm.
achieve their goals. And for me, that gives massive satisfaction and a real feeling of achievement when you've actually have done that. So I'd never want to gonna just do it for the sake of doing it. I'd never want to do a job or anything just to get it done. For me, I put my whole heart and soul into everything that I do, and that have very high standards regarding that. And also my team. My team is a phenomenal powerhouse, and they equally share that same ambition.
Great. And do you have a favorite word, quote, or sentence?
I love the word optimism and optimistic because that just really sums me up. Um, yeah,
Do you have a least favorite word, quote, or sentence?
I hate two words. I hate, well, one's a sentence, I guess, or a part of a quote, a Samuel Beckett quote, which I thought at the time when I did a poster on it, said, fail, fail again, fail better. I really don't like that anymore. For me, I just don't like the idea of failing or accepting failing. I know some people kind of feel very oppositely about that, but that's something that doesn't resonate with me. And I absolutely hate the C word.
Great. And you touched on this, but you're choosing one word to describe yourself. What word do you choose?
I mean, that's why optimistic.
Great. And what keeps you up at night?
Snoring dogs, snoring French bulldogs, heavy rain, and often if I go to because I'm working a lot in London, I go back and forth to London about 4 times a year. And working with my team there. Sometimes I'll have a late call with the team on a project. I go to bed kind of with that in my head. And so it's very hard to kind of switch that off because my brain is instantly going into problem solving mode and ideating mode. So that's an issue for me.
Great. And final stretch here. What's a dream you're chasing?
Sorry, I say it again.
What's a dream you're chasing?
I think I'm not chasing any dream. I'm just chasing the ambition of helping people. So that's something that it's like so many people need help in terms of design help or strategic creative help. I suppose that's something that's really helps me. I'm motivated by that. And also, I guess, my podcast, it's good to be on your podcast. My podcast I've been doing for 8 years now, Design Your Life. And I absolutely love talking to all my guests and hearing about other people's lives and connecting with other people in a meaningful way. I think that that's something that really motivates me and excites me as well.
Great. And number 18, what inspires you?
Well, I think life inspires me. I think and I always say this, my clients really inspire me. When a client comes to us with a problem, with an opportunity, with a brief, that often it's something that we never had thought was going to come in the door or was going to appear. And so that always is incredibly exciting. It's really exciting to get to the heart of that opportunity and, work on creating a really powerful outcome. And that's something that really motivates me and drives me.
Great. And last couple here. Number 19, any advice you'd like to share?
I think that one of the things that I'm passionate about was as I said, as I mentioned about my podcast, is around designing your life, around designing a life that works for you, that actually isn't somebody else's life, but a life that you sit down and apply the same approach that you do in terms of design or solving problems for other projects. Apply that to your own life and actually give it the dedication and time that it deserves. Do a bit of trial and error, but just focusing on living your life not just for your career, but also for your best mental health, physical health, happiness in relationships, etc. So I absolutely believe it's possible. I do all kinds of stuff to, eat clean, exercise, don't drink alcohol, connect with good people, have rest, all those kind of things that are, when you're younger, you kind of put on the side because you're focusing on your career and your job. I realize in hindsight that I should have give paid more respect to that and focused much more on that when I was younger. So in the past, I would have been healthier and happier as a result. So that's the kind of advice I give is actually to design your life, design the life that you want to achieve or want to live, and do everything you can to achieve that goal and
Great.
not to compromise.
Great. And finally, number 20, how can our listeners keep tabs on you and what's our call to action?
Yeah, so you can listen to my podcast on Design Your Life on Spotify or Apple or wherever you're going to listen to podcasts. You can go to our website, frostcollective.com. You can go to my personal website, vincefrost.com. There's a few books out on my work as well that you might get from bookshops or on our shop online. And just kind of Google us.
Great. Well, thanks so much for joining. It's very inspiring to hear your story. Thanks so much.
Cool. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate that.